Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel The World Coin. On this channel, we explore rare and valuable coins from around the world. Old dollar coins, error coins, and hidden treasures that can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you love coin collecting, or want to know the real value of coins you already own, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss an update. Let's get started with today's rare coin. I have 5 videos of 1 cent. So let's get started. The United States of America 1 cent coin dated 1924, part of the legendary Lincoln Wheat cent series, represents a fascinating and meaningful chapter in early 20th century American history, reflecting a nation that was rapidly changing socially, economically, and culturally during the post-World War I era, while still holding firmly to its foundational ideals of liberty, unity, and democratic identity, although commonly referred to as a Liberty coin because of the inscription on its obverse. The 1924 cent symbolizes a mature phase of American liberty expressed not through abstract classical figures but through the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln, whose presence on the cent since 1909 had come to embody freedom, equality, national unity, and moral leadership for everyday Americans. The obverse of the 1924 Lincoln cent features a right-facing portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, accompanied by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1924, each carrying significant emotional and ideological weight during the 1920s, a decade often remembered as the Roaring Twenties, when America experienced economic growth, industrial expansion, urbanization, and cultural transformation alongside social tensions and deep inequalities. The reverse of the coin displays the familiar 2 wheat ears, framing the words, 1 cent, and United States of America, with E pluribus unum above, symbolizing agricultural strength, economic stability, and the unity of many states into one nation, a message particularly relevant in a period when America was balancing rural traditions with fast-growing cities and modern industry. The year 1924 sits squarely between the trauma of World War I and the coming devastation of the Great Depression, making the 1924 cent a quiet witness to a moment of optimism and confidence that defined much of American life during the 1920s. By this time, the Lincoln Wheat cent had become an everyday object deeply embedded in American culture, used by workers, farmers, shopkeepers, children, and immigrants alike for small purchases such as newspapers, candy, bread, postage, and streetcar fares, ensuring that the coin circulated widely across every level of society. The 1924 cent was struck using a composition of approximately 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a warm reddish tone when new and sufficient durability for heavy circulation, reflecting the United States Mint's commitment to producing reliable, long-lasting coinage during a period of economic confidence. Production took place at 3 major U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, each contributing millions of coins to meet the demands of a growing population and expanding consumer economy, with subtle differences in strike quality, mint marks, and die-ware that later became points of study and interest for collectors. Historically, 1924 was a year marked by important developments such as continued industrial growth, advances in transportation and communication, and changing social norms, all of which formed the backdrop against which the 1924 cent circulated quietly yet constantly. Passing through countless hands and witnessing the rhythms of daily American life, from a numismatic perspective, the 1924 Lincoln cent is notable for the variety of conditions in which it survives today, as most examples experienced heavy circulation and show significant wear, while higher-grade pieces with strong detail and original color are increasingly scarce and prized by collectors. Culturally, the Lincoln cent of this era had already become a symbol of trust and continuity, its familiar design reassuring citizens during a time of rapid change, reminding them of shared values rooted in history and leadership. The presence of Lincoln's portrait reinforced lessons of unity and perseverance at a moment when America was redefining itself on the world stage while grappling with internal challenges such as economic inequality, racial tensions, and shifting cultural identities. As the Wheat cent series progressed toward its later years, the 1924 issue became part of a long-running design that would ultimately end in 1958, making it an essential link in a series that spanned nearly half a century of American history. Today, The 1924 United States 1-cent Liberty coin is valued not merely for its monetary worth but for its ability to connect collectors, historians, and enthusiasts to a vivid era of American life, capturing in a single small copper coin the optimism, contradictions, and enduring ideals of the 1920s. Ultimately, the 1924 Lincoln Wheat cent stands as a reminder that even the smallest denomination can serve as a powerful historical artifact, preserving within its metal the story of a nation balancing progress and tradition, prosperity and uncertainty, while continuing to define the meaning of liberty in everyday life. Next video. The United States of America 1-cent coin dated 1956, belonging to the iconic Lincoln Wheat cent series, represents an important and meaningful moment in mid-20th century American history, reflecting a nation that had emerged from the devastation of World War II into a period of rebuilding, confidence, and expanding global influence, while still holding tightly to its foundational ideals of liberty, democracy, and unity, often referred to as a Liberty coin due to the prominent inscription on its obverse. The 1956 cent continued the long-standing tradition of featuring Abraham Lincoln, whose portrait had graced the 1-cent coin since 1909 and had become one of the most recognized and respected symbols of American freedom, moral leadership, and national endurance. The obverse design, created by Victor David Brenner, shows a dignified right-facing portrait of Lincoln, accompanied by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1956, each phrase carrying deep cultural and emotional significance during the Cold War era, when faith, freedom, and national identity were emphasized as defining characteristics of the American way of life. The reverse of the coin features the familiar two wheat ears, framing the denomination, 1 cent, and United States of America, with E pluribus unum above, a powerful motto symbolizing unity from diversity, which resonated strongly in a post-war society experiencing rapid population growth, suburban expansion, immigration, and social change. The year 1956 falls within a transformative decade marked by economic prosperity, technological innovation, the rise of consumer culture, and intense geopolitical rivalry with the Soviet Union, making the 1956 Lincoln cent a silent yet constant witness to an America defining itself as a global superpower while navigating domestic challenges such as civil rights struggles and cultural shifts. During this time, the 1-cent coin remained an essential part of daily life, used for everyday transactions including newspapers, candy, postage, and household goods, ensuring that the 1956 cent circulated widely among citizens from all walks of life. From factory workers and farmers to students and shopkeepers, the coin was struck using a traditional alloy of approximately 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a rich reddish-brown appearance when new and sufficient durability to withstand heavy circulation, a testament to the U.S. Mint's commitment to producing reliable and long-lasting coinage for a growing and economically active population. Production of the 1956 cent took place at 3 major U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, with each mint contributing large quantities to meet nationwide demand, and subtle differences in strike quality, mint marks, and surface detail later becoming important factors for collectors and numismatists. Historically, 1956 was a year defined by optimism and tension, as Americans embraced modern conveniences such as automobiles, television, and household appliances while remaining deeply aware of global conflicts and ideological divisions, all of which formed the broader historical environment in which the 1956 Lincoln cent circulated quietly yet continuously. By this stage in the Wheat cent series, the design had become deeply ingrained in American culture, symbolizing stability and trust through decades of change, war, and recovery, and serving as a familiar object that connected generations of Americans to shared national values. From a numismatic standpoint, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat cent is especially significant as it comes near the end of the Wheat cent era, which would conclude just 2 years later in 1958, making it an important transitional issue that bridges early 20th century tradition and the modern coinage era that followed. Although many 1956 cents survive today due to high mintage numbers, examples in high grades with strong detail, original luster, and minimal wear are increasingly sought after, particularly by collectors assembling complete Wheat cent sets or focusing on mid-century U.S. coinage. Culturally and historically, the presence of Lincoln's image on the cent during the 1950s reinforced ideals of unity, perseverance, and moral strength at a time when America was confronting questions about equality, freedom, and its role in the world. Today, the 1956 United States 1-cent Liberty coin stands as more than just a piece of copper. It serves as a tangible historical artifact that captures the spirit of a confident yet cautious nation, reflecting both the optimism of post-war prosperity and the enduring principles upon which the United States was founded. Ultimately, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat cent reminds collectors, historians, and enthusiasts that even the smallest denomination can carry immense historical weight, preserving within its metal the story of a nation balancing tradition and progress, security and change, while continuing to define and defend the meaning of liberty in everyday American life. Next video. The United States of America 1-cent coin dated 1958 holds a uniquely important and emotional place in American numismatic history because it represents the final year of the legendary Lincoln Wheat cent series, a design that had faithfully served the nation for nearly half a century from 1909 to 1958, making the 1958 cent not merely a circulating coin but a symbolic closing chapter of an era deeply intertwined with America's social, political, and economic evolution. Commonly referred to as a Liberty coin due to the prominent inscription on the obverse, the 1958 cent features the enduring right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose image had become a powerful national icon representing unity, sacrifice, moral leadership, and the preservation of democratic ideals, especially resonant during the tense years of the Cold War when American identity and values were constantly emphasized in contrast to global ideological rivals. The obverse inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1958 collectively reflect the cultural mindset of 1950s America, a society that placed strong emphasis on faith, freedom, patriotism, and national confidence during a period marked by economic growth, scientific advancement, and geopolitical uncertainty. The reverse design, showcasing two stylized wheat ears framing the denomination, 1 cent, and United States of America, with E pluribus unum, above, symbolizes agricultural abundance, prosperity, and unity drawn from diversity, ideals that were foundational to the American Republic and especially meaningful in the post-World War II era as the nation enjoyed unprecedented prosperity while also confronting civil rights struggles and cultural transformation. The year 1958 itself was a moment of transition, standing at the threshold between traditional mid-century America and the rapidly modernizing 1960s, and the final issuance of the wheat cent coincided with broader shifts in design philosophy, technology, and public expectations, as the U.S. Mint prepared to introduce the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Composed primarily of 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, the 1958 cent maintained the classic metallic composition that gave earlier Lincoln cents their warm reddish tone, durability, and familiar feel in hand, qualities that made the coin both practical for daily commerce and aesthetically appealing. Production occurred at the Philadelphia Mint No Mint Mark and the Denver Mint D, with extremely large mintages struck to meet nationwide demand, ensuring that the 1958 cent circulated extensively across urban centers, rural towns, schools, factories, and households, becoming a common object in the daily lives of millions of Americans purchasing newspapers, groceries, stamps, and small necessities. Despite its wide circulation, the historical importance of the 1958 cent has grown steadily over time because collectors and historians recognize it as the end of an era, the last regular issue coin to bear the wheat ears that had symbolized American agriculture and self-sufficiency for generations. From a cultural perspective, the coin circulated during a period characterized by optimism tempered with anxiety, as Americans enjoyed television, automobiles, suburban life, and rising living standards while also living under the shadow of nuclear tension and global rivalry, making everyday objects like the 1958 cent subtle yet powerful witnesses to the emotional texture of the age. Numismatically, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat cent is especially notable because it represents the culmination of decades of design continuity, and while many examples survive today due to high mintage figures, specimens preserved in uncirculated or high-grade condition, especially those with strong strike detail, full wheat lines, original luster, and minimal marks, are highly valued by collectors building complete wheat cent sets or focusing on historically significant transition years. The existence of the 1958 D mint mark adds further interest for specialists, as subtle variations in strike quality and surface characteristics distinguish coins from different mints, deepening scholarly and collector appreciation. Beyond monetary value, the 1958 cent serves as a tangible link between generations, connecting Americans of the early 20th century, who experienced the Great Depression and World War II, with those entering the modern age of space exploration, civil rights reform, and cultural change. Today, the 1958 United States 1-cent Liberty coin stands not just as a small copper denomination but as a powerful historical artifact that captures the conclusion of a beloved design, the persistence of Lincoln's legacy, and the enduring symbolism of liberty, unity, and national identity. Ultimately, this coin reminds historians, collectors, and everyday admirers that even the smallest unit of currency can carry immense historical meaning, preserving within its modest form the story of a nation honoring its past while preparing to step confidently into the future. Next video. The United States of America 1-cent coin dated 1946, commonly referred to as a Liberty coin because of the prominent inscription on its obverse, occupies a deeply significant position in American history and numismatics, as it was minted during a pivotal moment when the United States was transitioning from the devastation of World War II into a new era of peace, reconstruction, and global leadership. The 1946 1-cent is part of the iconic Lincoln Wheat cent series, which began in 1909 and symbolized stability and continuity through some of the most dramatic decades in American history, including world wars, economic depression, and social transformation. The obverse of the 1946 cent features the dignified right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose image had by this time become one of the most powerful symbols of American unity, democracy, sacrifice, and moral strength, especially meaningful in 1946 when the nation was honoring veterans, rebuilding families, and redefining its role on the global stage. Inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1946 reflect the emotional and ideological mindset of post-war America, a society that leaned heavily on faith, freedom, and national ideals after years of global conflict and uncertainty. The reverse design, consisting of two wheat ears framing the words, 1 cent, and United States of America, with E pluribus unum, above, represents agricultural prosperity, unity among states, and the importance of hard work and self-reliance, values that were especially resonant as millions of American soldiers returned home to farms, factories, and small businesses. Minted primarily from 95% copper with tin and zinc, the 1946 cent reflects the restoration of traditional metal composition following wartime shortages, as earlier war-era adjustments had altered materials and manufacturing priorities, making this coin an important marker of America's return to normal industrial production. The 1946 1-cent was struck at multiple U.S. Mint facilities, including Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, and large mintages were produced to support a rapidly expanding economy fueled by post-war consumer demand, the GI Bill, and a booming population, ensuring that the coin circulated widely across cities, towns, schools, and marketplaces throughout the nation. From a historical perspective, this coin passed through the hands of Americans during a time of optimism mixed with adjustment, as families reunited, industries converted from military to civilian production, and the foundations of modern American prosperity were laid. Numismatically, the 1946 Lincoln Wheat cent is highly respected because it represents the first full peacetime year of coinage after World War II, making it a tangible artifact of recovery and renewal. And while many examples survive today due to high mintages, collectors place special value on coins found in uncirculated condition, with sharp details, strong wheat lines, full mint luster, and minimal surface marks. Variations between mint locations add further depth to the coin's study, as strike quality, die characteristics, and preservation differ, offering collectors and historians insight into mid-20th century minting practices. Culturally, the 1946 cent embodies the everyday life of post-war America, used to buy newspapers reporting on the birth of the United Nations, candy for children experiencing peace for the first time, and household goods in a rapidly modernizing society. Over time, this modest copper coin has become far more than a unit of currency, evolving into a historical witness that captures the resilience of a nation emerging from conflict, honoring its democratic values, and moving confidently toward a future defined by growth, innovation, and global influence. Today, The 1946 United States 1-cent Liberty coin is appreciated not only for its monetary and collectible value but for its profound historical symbolism, representing hope after hardship, continuity after disruption, and the enduring presence of Lincoln's ideals in American daily life, reminding collectors and historians alike that even the smallest coin can carry within it the weight of an entire nation's story. Next video. The United States of America 1-cent coin dated 1952, widely recognized as part of the historic Lincoln-Wheat, Liberty, cent series, stands as a powerful symbol of mid-20th century America, reflecting a nation firmly settled into the post-World War II era while simultaneously stepping into the early years of the Cold War, economic expansion, and social transformation. Minted during a time when the United States had emerged as a dominant global power, the 1952 1-cent circulated through a society experiencing rapid industrial growth, suburban development, and renewed confidence in democratic values, making this small copper coin a silent yet enduring witness to one of the most influential periods in American history. The obverse of the coin bears the iconic right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose image by 1952 had become inseparable from the ideals of freedom, unity, and moral leadership, especially meaningful during an era when America positioned itself as a defender of liberty against totalitarian ideologies around the world. The inscription, Liberty, clearly visible alongside, In God We Trust, and the date 1952, reflects the deep ideological emphasis placed on personal freedom, faith, and national identity during a time of geopolitical tension and internal reflection, as Americans balanced optimism with caution in a rapidly changing global environment. The reverse design of the 1952 cent, featuring 2 wheat ears framing the denomination, 1 cent, and the legend, United States of America, with E pluribus unum, above, continues the long-standing symbolism of agricultural strength, unity among states, and the dignity of labor, values that resonated strongly with a population that still remembered the hardships of the Great Depression and the sacrifices of wartime production. Composed primarily of 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, the 1952 cent represents the restoration and continuation of traditional coinage materials after wartime disruptions, reinforcing a sense of normalcy and industrial stability in American manufacturing. This coin was produced at major U.S. Mint facilities including Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, with large mintages intended to support a booming domestic economy characterized by rising consumer spending, expanding transportation networks, and increased everyday commerce, ensuring that the 1952 1-cent became a familiar object in homes, schools, shops, and workplaces across the nation. Historically, this coin passed through countless hands during the early 1950s, a period marked by the Korean War, the growth of television, scientific advancement, and the shaping of modern American culture, making it a tangible artifact of daily life during an era that laid the groundwork for contemporary society. From a numismatic perspective, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat cent holds special interest for collectors because it represents the later years of the wheat design, which would soon be replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, thus marking the end of a long and beloved chapter in U.S. coinage history. Collectors study the 1952 cent for differences in mint strikes, surface quality, luster, and die characteristics, with well-preserved uncirculated examples commanding greater respect and value due to their sharp details and historical authenticity. Culturally and emotionally, the 1952 1-cent symbolizes stability, perseverance, and continuity, as it was used by a generation rebuilding families, investing in education, and shaping a future defined by technological progress and democratic ideals. Over time, what once served as a simple unit of currency has transformed into a meaningful historical document, capturing the spirit of an America confident in its values yet aware of global responsibility. Today, the 1952 United States 1-cent Liberty coin is admired not only for its collectible appeal but for its deep historical resonance, standing as a reminder that even the smallest denomination can carry immense cultural, political, and human significance, preserving within its copper surface the story of a nation navigating peace, power, and progress in the modern world. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. A new coin story awaits you every next day.